Welcome back to Local 3 News. Joining me here in the studio is the lovely Mary Tavernini Dowling, the CEO of the Mariucci Family Beacon House. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much for having me on.
Of course. And so you just got back from your Remarkable Women trip, correct?
I did.
And so first of all, just give me your initial thoughts. You're back, you just had this experience. What's like one word you would use to describe this trip?
Overwhelming. It was absolutely, I've never been so overwhelmed with kindness and compassion and fun and joy and camaraderie. There was just, everything was overwhelming.
I love that for you. And so walk me through the trip, start to finish. How was it?
Oh, there wasn't a moment of it that wasn't just filled with excitement and fun and joy and celebration. There were so many surprises. And when we first checked in, they said, I thanked them for one of the things they had done, and they had said, well, first of all, the driver, our driver was from Brazil, and he was just full of great information. It was a beautiful limousine that took us from the airport to the hotel, and just everything from the reception. When we walked in the door, we were greeted with, like we were rock stars, like we were movie stars. And so they kept saying, well, we've got one more surprise for you and one more surprise for you. And that was the entire next 24 to 48 hours was just one more beautiful surprise. They wanted us to feel spectacular, and boy, did they get that right. We did.
Awesome. And so, this was all about, celebrating you and your accomplishments and how remarkable you are, and just what was it, 112 other women across the country who are just like you, making differences in their communities. So what was that like to connect with these women who want to make a difference and want to better their communities like you?
It was, I don't know of anything anywhere that it has been like this. I've searched and searched. I'm old now. So I've been around and I've seen things, but I've never seen anyone bring women together who all had that same purpose. I want to do something in my community to make it better. And from the moment I got to the cocktail party at the pool, it was, first of all, the food was spectacular, the music was spectacular, all of it was spectacular. But we just started meeting each other. We, just kind of walked up to, we met in little groups at tables and at the bar and at the food stations. And we would just ask each other, where are you from? And immediately I realized this wasn't a what do you do. I started asking people, who do you help? And that was my way of getting immediately right to the what is your cause, because everyone there was there because of someone they helped or some group they helped. And it was so fascinating and so, yes, absolutely overwhelming to hear about so many stories. And a lot of times these women, the whole reason they were involved in what they were involved in was because of their own personal, they were a victim. They were in some kind of a tragedy. And they said once they got loose or free from their trauma, they started to help others who were going through the same thing. And
so you were able to share your story. You're one of those women. What was that like for you to be able to tell people about the great things about the Mariucci Family Beacon House?
One of the other things that was really neat is none of us wanted to talk about ourselves. We all wanted to learn about each other. And so when I would meet someone and I'd ask, who do you help? And they would start to tell me, but then they would almost cut themselves off in mid-sentence and say, no, I want to know more about you. So it was always like, well, to be polite, I would start to tell them. But then as I started to talk about Beacon House again, I'm just so passionate about what we've done and what an amazing organization this is that, I guess my pride allowed me to share our story with as many people as wanted to hear it. And that was the great part, is nobody was, everybody was just there. They wanted to know about each other. We wanted to know everything about everybody. But just to be able to go through the program in advance and, again, just be overwhelmed with all of the different amazing things these women were accomplishing and then to get to seek them out and find them. And I was so flattered. So many times people would say, "Oh, I wanted to meet you. Tell me more about Beacon House. We need something like that in our community." And then to be able to say, this is where I would suggest you get started if but have anyone that you know who wants to be involved in starting a hospitality house for your medical patients and families, call me. Here's my card. Here's my number. Here's our website. So we all did that with each other. And in the airport on my way out, I was speaking with one of our dear friends in town who was talking about the homeless situation and how and people with drug addictions, and he was saying how that's something he wants to pursue. Well, I met about 50 women who are now going to put in contact with him because they've already figured out the model, and now all he needs to do is tap into it and then recreate that here in Marquette.
And now you're back to reality. The vacation's over. But what are the takeaways that are going to kind of stick with you forever from this experience?
Well, I don't know how I could have so much fun somewhere else but want to be home at the same time. So as wonderful as it was, and I adored every second of it, believe me, again, when you guys presented us with the award, there was no way I could imagine all of the things that you would do for us, all of the ways that you'd celebrate us, and just 2,000% over the top. So many surprises, so many beautiful things. But just coming home and being able to do what we do again was the greatest gift. But to be greeted by my coworkers and my board and our guests, lined up in the kitchen saying, "Welcome home, we missed you, we're so proud of you, thank you for doing what you do." It was like, this just is the gift that keeps on giving. And again, I kept saying to myself, just if this can shine a little bit more light on Beacon House, if this can help more people know we're here for them that need us, if we can have more donors find out more about what we do and say, oh, this is a good fit for where I might want to put my money this year or years to come. I'm so cool with that. But no, I couldn't have imagined just how much this was going to be.
Well, we're so happy for you, and we can't believe that you just had this incredible experience and how much you're just radiating from it. And I really appreciate everything that you've done to help us tell your story and the Beacon House's story. We will be right back with more Local 3 news.